Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we had a very busy week. We started out with a special town meeting on Monday, an hour and a half, 90 minutes. That is good.
Is that a record breaker?
I don't know. It might be. And I thought that was awesome until I read in the Cape Cod Times the next day that Sandwich had a special town meeting the same night, 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
They only had 5 articles left, so there you have it. In any case, it was, of course, very well run by the moderators. There were 2, a special one for one of the articles. And we got everything done that we needed to get done. So, moving on. Annual town meeting. 2013 annual town meeting. The warrant is open for citizen article submittals. We had town council available a couple of times last week and the week before for assistance if people wanted it to take advantage of that. Several people did. The deadline for the citizen article submissions is November 14th, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about an article. And, okay, thank you for asking. The annual town meeting, we wanted to have on a Saturday again, but the calendar didn't work out. So, we are going to have it on Tuesday, April 2nd. That is a news flash a little bit. The annual election will be the following week on Tuesday, April 9th. So, mark it on your calendar. Okay, so we had the special town meeting, and then we had our regular board meeting last night. The big thing at the board meeting, I won't go through everything, except I do want to mention Hummock Pond Road bike path. Progress proceeding quite well. There have been some changes that have been made to some of the areas for drainage and other purposes. We've met with the contractor several times. There are a couple of areas that were paved perhaps a little bit prematurely, and they will need to be redone, and he's agreed to do that. And I do want people to understand that the paving that you see is what's called the binder course. It's the base coat. It is not final. The final coat will go on in the spring. So other imperfections will be worked out in the spring also, if not now. So don't panic if you think you see a defect or something like that, it's not final. We did talk about that last night as well. Our big thing last night was entertainment licenses. We had a number of people come to the meeting, although not as many as we had heard were coming. And the board had lots of public input and lots of discussion, mostly from restaurant-related people, about standardizing the conditions and what type of entertainment should be allowed. We're really mostly talking just outdoor entertainment, and enforcement and noise levels, and there's a wide-ranging discussion.
Why did we need to have this meeting?
Well, we had a number of complaints over the summer about loud noise coming from the various establishments at times at which people thought were too late. So the board said, okay, let's just have it, and we had some inquiry, or I shouldn't even say it like that. The police chief expressed some concern about the enforceability of some of the conditions of the licenses, because some of them are very different than others, even though they're in the same area. Why are they different? Can we standardize them a little more? Maybe it's not possible, maybe it is. So that's kind of how it all came about. So they didn't conclude anything. From what I recall, it was slightly a little bit not 1,000% clear, but we will clear it up. One of the things they talked about was doing some site visits to some of the places that do have outdoor entertainment, just to see, I don't know, how loud it is. But I'm wondering if that's going to be a little difficult now. We kind of need to get the summer effect, I think.
I'd say so.
Anyway, they'll probably have a little more discussion about following up in upcoming meetings. And if they do make these changes, there will, of course, be.
Well, why do the restaurants need to be there, though? I don't understand. Why can't they just say, okay, this is as loud as it
They were
gets
under the
till this
understanding that there was some talk at a board meeting that all outdoor entertainment should stop at 10. And there were some comments like that made at a board meeting a while back. But I think really wasn't really the intention. The intention was more to take a look at entertainment licenses and what the conditions are, and to try to respect abutter concerns, people in residences who live right nearby, as well as the concerns of these commercial businesses. Nobody wants to put them out of business.
No.
But on the other hand, nobody wants them to get a little out of control with what they're doing. And there was some acknowledgments that perhaps there's pushing on the envelope from time to time with the time and the noise level and the type of entertainment that they have. So Anyway, that
So they're
took a while.
gonna what? Decide.
They're going to
together?
have some future discussion at a later time. I think that a couple of the board members might, they might go talking to some of the restaurant owners. They might go on their own to do a little of their own research and
All right.
bring it back.
So it's just going to be a standardized.
Well, that's the
They'll come back and
intent,
give
but it's all going to come back.
All right,
There's
all
going to
right.
be more ample
All right.
opportunity for more discussion, I would say.
All right.
So that was really the big thing. We had a bunch of other real estate items. We do not have a meeting next week, which is Halloween night, primarily because it's the 5th Wednesday, but also who wants to have a selectmen's meeting on Halloween?
Yeah.
And what else? Lots of stuff coming up to prep for the annual town meeting and the budget for fiscal 14. There was a capital program committee meeting today that I attended. We were talking over the various capital projects that the committee is in the process of reviewing.
Can you
and
share any of
asking
those
lots of
with us?
questions. Sure. There was, well, today I was there to talk about some town administration projects, of which we have two, sort of. One is the 20 South Water Street building renovation, which is not really, which is a bit up in the air right now for a variety of reasons. One of which relates to CPC funding, space, long-term space need planning, FEMA map revisions. Some things have taken the project off track a bit, so it may not even come up at the next town meeting. But they talked about that project. We also talked about the possibility of renovating. There's Phil. Phil, it's okay. Phil Stambaugh is the
Sure.
chairman of Capital Program Committee. Good thing I didn't
Oh,
say
he
anything
is.
bad.
Oh, well, okay, good.
Of course, I would never do that. Anyway, Children's Beach concession renovation. The building itself is in not really that great of condition. Actually, as one member put it, it's the recreational version of the Mooney building. That
Why
was an
not-
interesting
why
analogy.
not,
The bathrooms are in bad shape, and so
Okay. The bathrooms are, but
yeah, but
doesn't the tenant that rents
No.
that, aren't they responsible for keeping that up?
no, it's us.
Oh.
So we talked about some renovations, but also the possibility of expansion so that maybe there could be more revenue generated. But we have some legwork to do on that, like talk to the neighbors and get a little more analysis underway
I see.
about
So there might be something bigger involved. Then.
maybe. I don't want anybody panicking
Can anybody
about
come
it.
up with ideas, or is that not where we're at?
They could, but we're really just talking about
All right.
the building itself.
All right. Why
so,
is it not leased anymore? I mean,
No, it is leased. It
Okay.
is. It is leased. It's
All
just not in that great shape. And it's we're just the bathrooms really need to be redone. The
Yes,
kitchen
they do.
might need to be redone a bit. There's just it's not about to fall down or anything like that. But the longer it goes without some real structural improvements, the more maintenance costs are going to be going forward. In any case, we talked about that. We also talked about a several-pronged approach to the Prospect Street bike path, which, as you know, ends kind of suddenly on Prospect Street.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing a path that goes off to the left up behind Chicken Hill and connects over to Joy Street. And then you'd be able to get to Matticat Road, say, by going down Mount Vernon and either taking a left up, I guess that's still Milk Street, to Wynn Street and going across to that way. You could do the standard taking a right onto Milk and then a quick left onto Quaker.
Yeah.
Some people get to Mount Vernon and they just go across to Saratoga even though it's one way. Some people do get over to
Okay.
Matticat Road that way. Anyway, we were talking about how to make that whole area safer.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be, like I say, a multi-pronged approach and a multi-year approach. We
Right.
talked about the in-town bike path too. That's not really on the fiscal 14 schedule of proposed projects. That's fiscal 15. But we did talk about ways.
Is that the one that
The-
goes by the duck pond?
Yes,
Okay.
behind that
Yeah,
whole area.
yeah.
And ideally, we'd like to have more of a walking path or even bike area, pathway that gets people off of Orange Street and Washington Street, behind
Yeah.
like that marine
Brings
lumber
them right
area.
in.
Back, it brings them
Great
right in.
idea.
So anyway, we had some discussion about that too. So there's lots of. This is where all the activity happens to get ready for what's being brought before the annual town meeting. And we try to get all the schedules and the meetings posted online, so if people are interested in when the meetings are, please go online and look at our website. You can also call or email us. We're happy to tell you. And so, what else? Lots of stuff going on.
Okay.
The election coming up, the national. That doesn't really have to do with the town,
Right.
but that's a
Early
big
voting,
deal.
possible.
Early voting is
I'm gonna have
going
to
on
do
right
it,
now
yeah.
in the town building. Oh, I should mention the finance offices from the Mooney Building and the ones that are in 16 Broad Street are moving to 37 Washington Street. I think the target date is the middle of November. That time frame, we will have notices posted in the paper and here and online. So if you're a frequent user of any finance department office, be aware of that. And I can't think of anything else. Is that enough for now?
That's enough.
Okay.
There's a lot.
There's a lot going
You
on.
really
There's a lot.
working hard. Good.
Yeah. Some people would say hardly working.
All right.
I wouldn't say
No,
that.
I wouldn't.
That comes from a movie. Okay. So I think that's it.